If I don't get to the World Championship, and especially not in the World Championship final, there's a big consequence. I have a contract with the Belgian government. They are paying me a monthly salary, and one of the targets is to end up 14th at the World Championship. If I don't end up 14th, I could potentially lose a monthly salary, which is huge. For the World Championships, my biggest expenses can be divided in a couple of buckets. The first one are training camps, the housing, the accommodation at the training camp, the travel to the training camp. Some are more expensive than others. When I go to the United States, the plane is super expensive. When I go to Europe, I only take the car, so that's way cheaper. A training camp of 1 month can vary between 2, maybe 5K. Shoes can be expensive, as right now I don't have an apparel or shoe sponsor yet. I change my shoes every 2 months and then I buy a couple of new pairs. It's easily 750 to 1,000 euros every 2 months. Of course, all the medical expenses, when I say medical, is just like mainly the massage therapist and my physio, so my strength trainer. Now, as I was a bit injured, my physio cost me a lot more because I have to go a lot to him to do rehab exercises. But during the year, his cost is pretty low because I go only once every 2 months to him to update my strength plan. But my massage therapist, I go about 2 times a week, so that's quite expensive. And then of course, food. I don't make any cost cuts on food because food is part of my recovery and my fuel for training. So I need healthy food and also my sports supplements. So my protein shakes, all my, for example, my bicarb, my omega-3 supplements, all those things can be quite expensive, but I'm very lucky to have a partner, 6D Sports Nutrition, that provides me with all these sports supplements. So that's a big plus. I can get as much as I want from this, so this is not a big cost anymore. A lot of these costs are kind of covered already. For example, my sport federation covers a lot of training camps already. My sports supplements are covered by my partner, 6D Sports Nutrition. My shoes will be in the future covered by an apparel sponsor as well. And then my food, like, it's a big thing and I want to get a food sponsor that is linked to meal prep because I like everything that's related to meal prep. And I hope to get a meal prep sponsor in the future. So that would be nice as well. And this partner would then cover all my food related stuff. People think, oh, how come that you don't have an apparel sponsor or partner? Because in Belgium they have low marketing budgets, so the contracts are very little. A lot of athletes accept little contracts. I don't want to be greedy and only have the biggest contract. No, but I want to have a contract that's according to my value. Of course, I'm not expecting as much of people from the same level as me in other countries, like in the US and France, because there the marketing budget is bigger. So I'm okay with smaller budgets in Belgium. However, I still can't accept, for example, 5K in a year from an apparel sponsor because that's not in accordance with what other partners are paying me for social media, and then I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Maybe also I pay for some science experiments, such as the bicarb testing. In another video I explained how I optimize the timing of my bicarb intake, how I measure my hemoglobin mass after altitude, and all those things have a price tag linked to it, and this can also be sometimes quite expensive. A little expense that I forgot, and that's also covered by a very nice partner right now. During the day, I have to drink about 3 to 4 liters of water. I used to only use plastic bottles. That was an expense and also very bad of me because it's not sustainable at all. And then now I have my new partner, Kambuka, who covers all my water bottle needs. And so this is 1 liter, and I put the quote on it, be bold, be crazy, because why not? And it's super nice, because that's already one other expense that's covered. And these are just like crazy good bottles. I have very high costs with my social media. I already explained you my costs, which is super high. But so if I start to get into financial troubles, I can start cutting my costs on social media, and then I will always be okay for the sports side. Yeah. Like, if I need to get more income, I just cut on my social media, and then I get more finances for my sports. It would have been stressful if my social media was quite little, but luckily now it grew at a certain point where I get contacted very regularly by partners with certain opportunities, and so I know that income will flow in through social media. So thanks to that, I'm financially stable. If I could only do sports and not bother about anything else like social media, I think it could give me a little additional edge in sports, but it would be very boring at the same time. Not having to bother about all the financial aspect and the social media would give me better recovery between trainings, but I don't know if psychologically I could handle this boring life. Renting an apartment, buying a car, thinking about buying a house, thinking about saving money for my future children. All these 4 things I haven't started yet. I'm 27 years old. So these are all things I delay. Yeah. But I'm not scared, because the way social media is growing right now is giving me, I know that this upward trend will give me a good revenue in the future to start saving money, to buy a car, to buy a house, and save for my children and all those things. So the time I used to invest into looking for partners, new partners, was quite substantial. Always making new PowerPoints or PDFs to adapt to them, send them, having introduction calls, and 99% of the time doesn't go through. So it was a lot of time for very little return. Luckily now I started working with a marketing agency called Polster. They're based in Leuven. I think the boss his name is Bram van den Broek. He's very nice, and they will, that's a way to outsource all this part of cold calling potential partners. They are doing it, and then they take a cut of what contract they can get for me. Of course, partners are there to help me financially. So if there's no finances, I cannot partner up with a partner. But if I was only looking for the financial side, I would partner up with any brand, which is not the case. I have super high standards in terms of quality, but also in terms of values. And so I only partner up with products I think are of high quality, like my Kambuka drinking flask. For example, it's just thermally isolated. It's not a plastic thing. It's like the highest quality drinking bottles you can have. And so I'm not scared to promote them, because I really think they are great. Like my sports supplement partner, 6D Sport Nutrition, like my non-alcoholic beer partner, Schuf. I think from all those partners as super high quality partners, and so I'm happy to promote them, because people should buy them if they're looking for a product in their industry. So I'm looking only for high quality partners, and secondly, partners with good values. I will never partner up with unsustainable partners, with partners destroying the world, etc. I get this question a lot on Instagram from young athletes. Hey man, I ran this PB on the 5K or the 10K. I want to be like you in a couple of years. How do I make it to the World Championships? And the answer is simple, super simple. Just train your ass off, be super consistent, and you will make it. as long as you live with your parents, you have to be lucky to be able to live with your parents. Some parents say when you're 18, get out of the house. But if you can live with your parents, like I do still today at 27 years old, it doesn't cost anything to live here. So just, it's a sacrifice to make because you cannot live with your friends. But if you live with your parents, you have no cost. You can just train, have a part-time job on the side that can cover some other expenses, or like me, my social media that cover all the other expenses, and then just train, day in, day out, and after a couple of years, you'll make it. Sometimes young athletes ask me, what do I need to contact this federation to get these funds, etc. Don't expect to get funds, to get help from that person. What you need is just consistent training and to cut as much costs as possible. So live with your parents in the basement, I don't care, and you'll make it. If I don't get to the World Championship, and especially not in the World Championship final, there's a big consequence. First, I have a contract with the Belgian government. They are paying me a monthly salary, and one of the targets is to end up 14th at the World Championship. If I don't end up 14th, either normally I lose my contract, but they can give me an additional year just to prove myself again. So I could potentially lose a monthly salary, which is huge. Secondly, I'm currently looking for an apparel sponsor, like shoes. If I don't make it to the World Championship, they will not be interested anymore. They will say to me, all right, let's wait one more year. So you can first prove yourself and then we'll give you a contract. So that's an opportunity cost that I'm losing, not a direct an opportunity revenue. I don't get it right now, but it can be also a huge revenue that I potentially lose. So if you count all of that, I think potentially not making it to the World Championship, and especially not the final, could cost me 60K in a year.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.